Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email sent from a subscriber. And guys, this guy's story, this is about a guy who a couple months ago he emailed me and told me his story about how basically he was celebrating the 1-year anniversary it would have been if he had gotten married. Where in December when I did his video on his story, if he had stayed with the girl that he had been with, he would have been married at the time that he emailed me. And basically, he's obviously happy he didn't get married to her, and his life is so much better. He's focused on his purpose and all his goals, and just he's on cloud nine, doing well with his company, pursuing his interest in music and all that. He's writing me now to tell me an update and some things he's learned and experienced in the dating world, okay? And in this particular story I'm going to get into, guys, you're going to see where he describes how he started dating this woman who was really hot, he was really into, and like a lot of guys who get with a girl they really are attracted to, they stop being themselves and they start being really accommodating and nice and putting her on the pedestal and really trying to impress her, and it always backfires, okay? Every time. And you're going to see here, this guy does the same thing to this girl that initially seemed to like him, but he turned her off. But then you're going to see, guys, how then, instead of making mistakes that he would have made in the past, he does redeem himself in the way he handles it with her going forward. But I'm doing this, guys, this video, the point of this video is to show you guys why you should absolutely not put women on a pedestal, kiss their ass, do things to get their approval, and try to impress them. Because when you do, it always backfires and they lose respect for you. And believe me, women can sense this a mile away, especially the hot ones. So I'm going to jump into his email here. He says, "Hi SSM, just wanted to say thank you for sharing my story over Christmas. It was really nice to read the comments and hear your encouraging words. It's interesting that you said one day a girl is going to come into my life and really test me. Well, that happened recently. It could have been messy, but I avoided disaster, so I thought it would be fun to share." At the end of the video that I did for him, because he obviously really improved himself and all that, I told him that one day life's going to test you. One day some girl's going to come into your life and test and see if you learned the lessons from your prior screw-ups. And no surprise, 2 months later, here we go. He says, "I met a girl recently. We went on a few dates and hooked up once. I won't lie, I was falling for her very hard." There you go. After a couple dates, what the hell, man? I mean, she must have been pretty hot. But you see, guys, what I'm talking about? Guy gets a really hot woman, smoking a hot body, she's feminine, likes him. It's not good, but it happens a lot. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say it didn't happen to me when I was younger, but I've learned to keep my shit under control. But believe me, it's a lot like in the Avengers series with the Incredible Hulk. You got Bruce Banner, and you got the Hulk inside of him. Whenever Bruce Banner gets really angry or anxious, the Hulk starts to try to come out in him. That's like your typical guy with the inner nice guy, the inner beta male that's just trying to come out whenever a hot girl is in their presence. You got to fight, just like Bruce Banner's got to fight the Hulk trying to take over his body, you got to fight that beta male that wants to take over and be accommodating and a nice guy and kiss her ass and put her on the pedestal. And believe me, alcohol doesn't help the situation because that alcohol only amplifies that nice guy trying to come out. So anyhow, I got to point that out there. He says, "This is the first person I've dated since I broke up with my fiance. She seemed to have all the traits I'm looking for in a partner. But I spoke to a friend about her who knows her, so it was basically a mutual friend. He told me about her history and all the red flags." Why didn't you listen to your friend? You were listening to your friend down south, not the friend you should have been listening to. He said some of her red flags are, she's unable to work due to mental health. So who pays the bills? Probably all the suckers because she's hot and she can get them to buy her food and pay her bills and all that. Number 2, extreme neediness and clinginess. Oh, that's fun. Number 3, friends with her most recent boyfriend. She's keeping guys in the friend zone and willing to jump back in her life at any moment. Not good. If you want to have fun and hook up with girls like this, that's okay. But don't go falling in love with them on a second date, I might add, because it's only a recipe for disaster. But these red flags here, can't hold a job, mental health problems, you don't need this, man, but the old crazy hot scale. He goes on, "Still, I overlook these. This was just a lust and infatuation, though. I really liked her and thought she was so good to me. I went all out to impress her on our second date. I picked her up, cooked her a 3-course meal from scratch, which she seemed to really enjoy. The second date, dude, this is right out of a freaking movie. The second date, you're going to cook her a 3-course meal? What has she done to earn you inviting her to your house and you cooking her, not cooking together, I might add, you cooking her a 3-course dinner? No. That's stuff you do with a girl as your girlfriend, or at least if she's not your girlfriend, you're not exclusive, that you have obviously been dating a while, hooking up many times, and she's earned that dinner, okay? 3-course dinner. Second date, should maybe get a couple drinks and appetizers. Max, not this shit. So right there, that's number one, him being extra nice, and he said trying to impress her. Don't do that, guys. And when I say about the don't impress thing, obviously, if you're going on a date, you can't just show up in sweatpants, but guys, don't go wearing a 3-piece suit either. You got to do some things to look good. And I'm not saying impress her, but just be that type of guy that's attractive, okay? A lot of guys are like, well, if I don't impress her, should I just show up in sweatpants and take her to McDonald's? No. But there's a difference. You don't show up in a 3-piece suit. When the bill comes, you don't pull out your money clip with several $100 bills for her to see. You don't, show off your watch, your expensive watch for her to see. Little shit like that to impress her. Don't do it. It's a mistake. If she lives 2 blocks away from the place you're meeting for a drink, you don't insist on picking her up because you got a nice car because you want her to see it. She's going to tell and figure this out. And when women know guys are trying to impress them, that obviously shows that the guy doesn't have enough confidence in himself to be who he is. He's got to go out of his way to try to show off. And that's going to turn him off. But we all do it. I've done that shit. And I'll be lying to say if there aren't times when, like the Hulk, like Bruce Banner and the Hulk trying to come out, it doesn't try to impact me, but I don't. He says, I went out to impress her, a 3-course meal, which she seemed to really enjoy. We started to make out on the sofa afterwards, and I took her to my bedroom. Her favorite movie was on my TV for her, as well as leaving my guitar. You're going to cringe now, but she asked me if I'd play her something, so I did. Either way, it led to some bedroom fun. She seemed shocked that it had been 2 years since I had been with someone last. I wasn't really sure what to make of it. She seemed to be really grateful, and she said, you put so much thought into this. So after he cooked her the 3-course dinner, then he had her favorite movie already ready to go on the TV, and he had his guitar there, knowing darn well she'd ask about it, and sang her a song. Again, this is like something you'd see out of a movie, and I've told you guys, movies are bullshit. So, but they hooked up. So good for him, he got some action. Now watch what happens the next time he sees her after he did all this nice guy stuff and treating her like the queen and putting her on the pedestal. Watch this. But on our last date, she did something that really frustrated me. She was often very bubbly, flirty, and friendly with me when we met, but this time she was extremely quiet and barely talking to me. She was just so cold and passive, like she didn't want to be there. She said she was tired. Okay, fair enough. But she was constantly on her phone, more interested in surfing social media than talking to me. The real kicker for me was when she had to suddenly and abruptly leave the date. So, complete 180 from how she was before. You know why? Because she knows this guy put her on the pedestal, kissing her ass, trying to impress her, all these things. Things that she didn't earn yet on the second date. You gotta be out of your damn mind. So don't do this type of crap, guys. First date, meet up for one drink. If it's going well, you're having a good time, and you yourself want to stay there and get a second drink, that's your business, okay? Or if you want to get a few appetizers, if you are having a good time and it seems like she really is genuinely interested in you, then you can. But you plan for one drink. The second date is pretty much the same. Maybe a couple drinks and some appetizers. No cooking dinners, no having her movie ready to go on your TV, no musical instrument to sing her a song, okay? That's the shit you see on TV. And in the movies, the girl falls in love with a guy and they live happily ever after. In reality, a woman sees as a guy trying too hard and they get a 180 in her behavior, like right here. Don't do it. So, she abruptly leaves. He says, these 3 things in conjunction just left a sour taste in my mouth. I felt disrespected. You were disrespected. And you should have called her on her crap. You should have called her on the constantly being on her phone, not paying attention to you because you're supposed to be on a date. You should have honestly actually ended the date, because obviously before her ending it on you. Says, about an hour after our date, she texted me to say, "Thank you for a lovely evening again." I replied, it didn't that lovely for me, to be honest. She asked why, but then immediately apologized for being so withdrawn. I said it was more that she was constantly on her phone that bothered me. She apologized, but my gut feeling was that she wasn't all that sincere. I can remember hearing your voice ringing in my head, "Trust people by their actions, not their words." Well, you pay attention to people's actions, not their words, okay? And what did her actions say? Her actions showed you on the third date that she can give a flying fuck, okay? Because she knew that you're easy. There's no challenge anymore, okay? She has you. And remember, this is the girl that has mental health issues, can't keep a job, clinginess, all this crap. She's going to be on to the next guy, the next challenge, because there's no challenge here. This guy's too easy. But you got some action, so that's one silver lining to this whole situation. He says, it did feel good to be assertive and put up a boundary. I didn't do this with my ex-fiance when I knew I should have. Maybe what I did next wasn't the smartest thing, but I went 1 week without talking to her. At this point, I had done all the planning of dates. I had done about 95% of the initiating. I wanted to see if she would make any attempts to strike up a conversation or plan anything with me. Even just basic things like a good morning text or how was your day. 1 week, nothing. If she was really sorry and actually interested, she would try. Exactly. I'm not surprised she didn't reach out to you. And good for you for not reaching out to her, because a lot of guys would have. A lot of guys would have texted her to see if she was okay, texted her, found an excuse to contact her. No, this guy didn't do that. Good for him. And guys, in a situation like this, girl treats you like crap, she doesn't deserve your attention. She's got to come to you. And obviously, she's not. And in the beginning, guys, you're generally speaking, unless a girl is like totally hot for you, sees you like really high on the scale, you're going to have to do the initiating of the courtship anyway. That's just how it is. But a whole week, nothing? What does that say? He says, if she was really sorry, she would, and not interested, she would try. My birthday had passed, and she didn't even wish me a happy birthday. You could say I shit tested her to assess her interest in me, whether she saw me as someone long-term, a hookup, buddy, or just an easy source of validation for her. After the week, the rose-tinted glasses are off. My heart was out of the equation, and I was able to see it logically. I was quite shocked how badly I was simping. At least he can admit it, and that's good, okay, guys? I mean, look, here's the deal, guys. All of you guys are on different journeys in your life. And I got plenty of you guys here that do dating and hooking up and relationships and all that stuff. And I got plenty of you guys that don't. Okay. For those of you guys that are into the dating and hooking up and relationships and all that shit, you're going to make mistakes. That's how it is, okay? This guy, he obviously made mistakes by trying too hard and kissing her ass and all that. It is what it is. But at least he's now recognizing that. At least he's now, after the date, said, wait a second here. She treated me like shit. I'm not going to reach out to her. I'll let her try to reach out to me. She didn't. So now he recognized, he put his pride aside and said, okay, I screwed up. How can I learn from this? Okay? And that's good. It's a journey, guys. He says, I was quite shocked at how badly I was simping. I wrote down all the red flags and reasons not to date her. How many did I think of? 14. Again, I was so shocked I had missed so many and just ignored so many. I talked it over with a good friend of mine, the one who I had met through music, who in no uncertain terms told me that I'm effing stupid and should break it off immediately. Well, you weren't like in a relationship. You just went on a couple dates. There's nothing wrong if you wanted to like just casually date and hook up. But if you're actually falling for this girl, you're out of your damn mind. You should have listened to your buddy next time. It's good to have good friends that you can trust and give you this advice whether you want to hear it or not. He says, I felt grateful that he could be so blunt with me and say how it is. Like you say, better to have one or two very close friends rather than a dozen half-assed friends. Absolutely, guys. So after that week, I blocked her number and just cut her off. I hadn't added her on any social media, although I'll admit that I was tempted. I didn't waste my time anymore. Besides, I have other priorities in my life. I'm starting a new job in a few weeks, a new job in cybersecurity that I had to find after being told I could be made redundant in my current role. Since November 2020, I've been taking my diet a lot more seriously and about my exercise routine. My friends have noticed the changes I've made, and I've lost about 30 pounds since then. Damn, dude, that's awesome. Good for you. These things are a source of validation for me, not some woman who I barely know. You're right. This was a major test for me. I nearly failed. You failed in the first part, but you redeemed yourself in the second part. Thank God I was able to call on my friends, my past experiences, and the knowledge I acquired by watching your content. There may be another one who tests me again. Thanks. Well, you can bet your ass there's going to be more tests coming on. That's just how it is, okay? But focus on your career, getting that new job, focus on the weight loss, exercising, all that, doing the stuff with music that you enjoy. And when you're ready to start dating again, which probably won't be too long because you are a man, you got needs, use these experiences to learn and don't make the same mistakes again. That's it. That's all you can do. Are you going to make mistakes again? Yes, but you'll learn from them. That's just how it is, guys. You know, I mean, this guy sounds like he's in his 20s, but if he gains all this knowledge now, by the time he's my age, he's got it made. By the time he's in his 30s, he's got it made. So good for this guy. But and again, lesson to this story, guys, is this. Don't put them on a pedestal. Don't kiss their ass. Don't go out of your way to impress, because women are going to see this a mile away. And in their view, it is going to be seen as you trying too hard because you don't think you're good enough as is. So you got to do all this extra bullshit to impress them. And it's going to turn them off. Women like guys are confident in who they are. Again, that doesn't mean you got to show up on the date in sweatpants or, take her to McDonald's, but you know what I mean here. You're not showing up in a three-piece suit. You're not wearing a Rolex and making sure she sees it. You're not picking her up 2 blocks away in your fancy car so she knows you have a good car, pulling out the big wad of money so she can see it. All this other bullshit and other things that guys try so hard to do to impress the girl. Don't do that. It's going to blow up in your face. And, of course, all the other nonsense. And no cooking dinners for girls unless it's actually your girlfriend or you've been dating a lot and you've been hooking up and all that. And even then, she can help with the cooking. Don't be a servant to her cooking the food, okay? She can pick up some wine. She can pick up some food along the way, and together you can cook things. So, but good job to this guy. He fucked up in the beginning, but he redeemed himself in the end. That's all I can ask. Just learn. It's a journey, guys. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.